Welcome, everyone, to episode 62 of the draft. Tonight, we will be drafting our teams for the Iowa Corn 350 at Iowa Speedway featuring Iowa. This is, Tino said before we started, this is the first time we've had someone with the same name as the track name that we're headed to. So this is great, or the place where we're racing. Um, it's been a while, guys. I missed you guys. We had an off week last week. The week before, I was on vacation, so I didn't. I feel like I haven't drafted in years, but it's only been a couple weeks. It feels like years since I've won the draft. Tino's winning three of the last four. Phil got us both at Atlanta. We got the leaderboard here. Tino 8.5 wins. I'm at 7.5. Phil at 6. Phil is at Bet Bash tonight, so he's not going to be joining us. We have Iowa joining us from the Keg and Co crew. Always live betting. You guys are crushing it this year. Iowa, I'll kick it to you real quick. Are you excited for this week at your home track?
Yeah, honestly. So, long time listener, first time caller. It's a shame that Phil ducked me for the opportunity to be on with him tonight. But yeah, vibes are high in Iowa. Tomorrow we'll be going to the Knoxville 360 races. Corey Day, Kyle Larson will be there. I'm going to catch the Cup race on Sunday. 410 Knoxville Nationals are next week. And then we got the Field of Dreams baseball game next week, too. So, vibes are high in Iowa.
Hell yeah. A lot of cool stuff going on. Tino, how you been, man? Mr. Face, how's life going?
Well, missed you more, and I'm feeling great to be back. Long off week, worked hard, dove into some of the new updates on Win the Race. You guys always
Yeah.
making it look nice over there. And what better? I feel like, obviously I use the site all the time, but this is like the type of track and week that I feel like it matters most. Only been here 2 times in the last, next gen era and everything like that. And to be able to have an opportunity to use the tools and use it to our favor and see what tracks are comparable, which drivers are going to be fast. I'm excited to be back racing, excited to see all you guys in the chat and up here on my screen as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, man. Greg and I were like, man, it'd be nice to just relax and take a week off. And that's like the hardest we've worked on the website since the off season. Like it was a crazy week. So many good upgrades to the track comparison. Put a new DFS thing in there where it's got every optimal on DraftKings for Cup Series from 22 on, then Truck and O'Reilly Series from 2024 on. And you can even customize it by any track type you want to put in there, and it just spits out the optimals, tell you how those optimals have been created, whether you're playing guys that are starting up front, the middle, back, whatever it is, how much salary used, bunch of cool stuff to mess around with. We added, now this is a cool one for this week, quality passes per mile. So it looks at, like, we don't really care if Blaney gets a penalty and goes and passes 20 slow cars. We care when these guys are passing the fast cars. So we looked at quality passing, and then you do it by the distance of the track. So then when you're looking at guys who are passing on Martinsville or they're passing at Charlotte, it's equal. You got to know who's a good quality passer no matter where we go. And so that's why we did it that way. But that stat will also update per your own data set. So a lot of cool stuff to go check out. Wintherace.info. Go check that out. Let's do a quick recap of last week. Well, 2 weeks ago, Indy. I thought it kind of was what it was. It was very unfortunate that their debris caution came out because like that last green flag pit stop was going to be the race. That was going to be fun to see what happened. Maybe Priest has a smarter strategy at the end there, and he could have got up front. But it was cool to see Corey Heim pull it off. Kid's a freaking stud, man. Like I don't care how that went down at the race. All these other guys are racing, so like why can he find a way to win? Like call it whatever you want to call it. Dude's just there at the end of races to win races and get trophies. So I love Corey Heim. I can't wait till he's full time next year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Iowa, I'll kick it to you. What did you think of Indy? Was it everything that we kind of expected it to be?
Yeah, I mean, from the live betting aspect, there was some good numbers. Like we kind of jumped on Priest live, trying to play that pit road strategy game. I don't really understand the decision there to take four at the end when you were in the best scenario.
Yeah,
I feel like
So
that was probably
dumb.
his race to win.
crazy.
Um, not to take anything away from Corey Heim, he deserves every win is hard to get in NASCAR Cup Series, right? But it feels like any car that gets out front is going to hold off anybody that's trying to pass them there. So, really just comes down to having a good pit crew, and they made the right decision. They made it work for them. So, not going to miss Indy, unfortunately, and looking forward to Iowa.
Yeah. And props to Logano because, he didn't help Heim in that first restart and then completely just pushed him out front on that next one. So, totally redeemed himself. But
To
go
that
ahead.
point, botch job by JGR, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
got Denny, Bell, Briscoe all there in a line, and you can't manufacture a run to get past those two cars, like you were saying. Just to chime in about my thoughts too, it's tough. It's so tough because I love Indy. I love the Brickyard. I am all for the historicness and I want to celebrate it, but it's just hard to be an optimist and be positive when there's no passing, right? It's simple. It's easy. There's no one saying anything crazy here or trying to be, I think if we can implement that, if there's any whatever, I don't know what changes need to be made to the car, but they've been doing it. And so that leaves me a little bit hopeful that next year, hopefully, we can get back to some good racing. I am glad they're on the Brickyard. I am happy for Corey Heim. But to see Priest blow it, like you guys said, and then JGR and especially Denny, he continues to find ways to lose this one. And he did right there on the restart.
Yeah.
We did get another episode of the Heim Hocevar drama. I mean, I can't imagine barreling it close to the pit road wall at 190 trying to give the guy the finger, but I mean, I'm here for every race that those guys are going against each other. So that should be fun for the future.
Mm-hmm. I listened to the broadcast on my ride home. I had about a 3-hour ride, so I put it on, YouTube TV, whatever, and I just listened to it on the ride home, and I enjoyed it. And I'm not gonna lie. When I was driving and I saw the finger thing, I had one eye on that and one eye on the road. I was being a little dangerous, but I had to see it. I had to see the finger. So I was probably the guy going 55 in the fast lane when that was going on. But man, it was what it was. I think that I've accepted the no passing thing when we get to places like that. So I kind of just wanted to hear how that last pit stop went, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen. But anyways, we'll move on. Totally different race this week. If you tuned into that race, you're in for a completely new thing this week. We don't have Phil here to do the track preview, but we're going to go ahead and jump into Iowa. I will just, Tino, there's your win. I got to show it.
Yeah.
We can't just mention it and breeze by it. Great win here. The only guy Greg picked that I wanted different was Larson over Elliott, and they each scored 1 point. So that never mattered. Good pick with Cindric, man. That was smart. And then just, going different there in the bonus. So good work.
Appreciate it. And this is, once again, chat, whenever we were on a couple weeks ago, picked Austin Cindric. Everyone was calling me crazy, calling me a madman after you guys did that with Joey Logano. So I'd say I'm kind of back to back. I won't celebrate too hard with the Cindric, but because Blaney had trouble, so I won't go super crazy. But I will go crazy for getting back to back wins. That's awesome. Points leader now, Tino Patino.
Yeah, dude, good work. 3 out of the last 4. So we're trying to take you down here. Iowa's pumped. I know we're gonna do it. You're going down, Tino. All right, we're at Iowa Speedway. The 750 horsepower package, 0.875 mile track, so less than a mile here. Average banking, 13 degrees, asphalt track. The speed tier in our track comparison and win the race has it in a low medium speed compared to all the other tracks. And the tire wear we have listed as medium. They're bringing that new tire. I'm hoping we see medium tire wear. That would be pretty great. Well, one of the improvements we made to the track comparison chart is that we actually show you why tracks are comparable to other ones based on all those things: the horsepower, the size of the track, the banking, the surface, the speed, the wear. Number 1 here, which is interesting, North Wilkesboro, because we were just there 3 weeks ago now. So that's pretty interesting. I'm sure that'll come up tonight. Then we got a couple others here, like Gateway. Gateway is going to be in that package this year, but hasn't been in the past. Been more in the intermediate type package. Nashville, we raced that this year. That's a little larger than this, though, but still similar enough here to come up third. New Hampshire, Martinsville, Phoenix, Richmond. Get to short flats, really, or shorter, flatter tracks. But it does bring in just a little bit of banking here. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot tonight. I use those tracks from 2025 and 2026. It ends up being a 13 race sample. I'll just say that now so I don't have to repeat it for every freaking guy that I talk about, but that's the sample I'm looking at. I'm curious to hear what you guys are going off of. Iowa, do you have any thoughts to add about your home track here? I do know, I'll say quick, the guys that have won this race have started on the front row both times, and the guys on the front row have led all the laps. Like Blaney led 240 laps here or whatever and won. And then last year, both guys, Byron and Briscoe, started on the front row, led the most laps in the race, each of them, number 1 and number 2, and won the race. So, do you have any other thoughts about this?
Yeah, Painted on the Side is the fastest little short track we got. So, yeah, this will be my first time going. I usually try to avoid this track in August because, I mean, what are we doing? Iowa in August is 100 degrees, humidity through the roof. But we rolled the dice this year. Looks like it's going to be 90. We might dodge a little showers in the morning. Could come overnight from Saturday. But, yeah, I primarily just used the Win the Race track comp. I didn't really look at Nashville too much, but I kind of stayed in that Martinsville, Phoenix, North Wilkesboro range. Looked back at Iowa over the last 2 years, but didn't really dive too much deeper than that with the new, the new aero package, 750 horsepower package this year.
Perfect. Yeah, Nashville's concrete too, so a little different there. But I mean, they bring tires to concrete tracks that have never seen concrete. So what does NASCAR care about any of that?
Man, tires are tires.
Yeah, tires are just round. All right, let's get into the draft here. If you're new to the draft, we're going to draft one driver each. I'll pull up the draft board here. From the 8 teams you see listed on the top of this or the side of the draft board here, then we're going to pick one bonus driver from any team in NASCAR, and we'll get 1.25x their points. The winner will pick a charity. Tito, you're on a roll here. We'll do a little housekeeping here. North Wilkesboro, your Joey Logano call out. We're donating to the Joey Logano Foundation. Very fitting there. In the Indy Oval, Tino wins again, the LeBron James Family Foundation. So we'll be donating there. I think we've donated to Joey Logano in like last year. LeBron James Family Foundation, we've not. So that's another new one. So that's cool. So again, always for a good cause here. The winner will pick a charity, win the race, will donate to it. And if you feel, like one of these foundations or anything, you do some research and it means something to you, you have someone that it could help, please, go ahead and donate what you can. It all matters. It all counts. All right, let's get into the draft here. I'm pulling up the randomizer, and we're going to see what team we're starting out with here. All right, we'll get it started here.
I honestly forgot. I'll put it on the record. Forgot about the randomizer.
Oh, there you go. Spire, baby. So Spire comes up first. Tino, I'm going to let you lead this one off.
Awesome. Well, before I do just that, I'm seeing a lot of comments pile in, so keep them coming. I want to hit some of them first, and I'll be brief with my explanation. First off, Go Fast Troy, he said a little bit ago, he will see you on Sunday, Iowa, so that's awesome. Shout out to him. Had a big weekend.
Iowa, real quick. Do you know that Go Fast Troy is another Niner fan?
Oh.
I do now. Hell yeah.
All right, there you go. Now you know. He's one of us. Substation has not deleted all of us yet. We're still around.
Well, yeah.
For the time being.
Yeah. That's dangerous. Moving on, though. Robert with an awesome shot at Phil, saying, Phil ever go 2 weeks without a vacation? Damn. And honestly, it seems like it this year. I don't know. Phil, I don't know. He's not here to chirp back. We'll see if he pops in the chat at any point, but that's awesome. Living. And then before we dive fully into this, Nigel said he was going to be at Iowa as well, I believe, so that's awesome. He also asks, do we think year 3 of the partial repave will allow the track to widen out this week, or will still be stuck to the bottom? Very excited to hear they're investing $20 million into this track and facility. That's awesome. I didn't know they were going to be putting some money into it, so that's awesome to see. I hope they continue. I love Field of Dreams, Track of Dreams, all that. Build it, they will come. Ryan, what do you think in terms of track widening out? Are you seeing anything about that when it comes to Iowa this year?
I think we'll know a lot more once we get to practice. So just got to pay attention to that and then listen to a lot of driver quotes and see what they're saying about it. Just see what the teams, how they react to it. But, and then we got to see this new tire. The new tire, they say, is supposed to promote more tire wear. So that to me would mean like you're going to have to find new lanes to run around. Like guys are going to have different lanes to run in, try to preserve their tires, take care of their stuff and be fast late in runs. That's the hope. So yeah, I'm hoping that the track is more worn. I'm hoping that the tires wear more. I think those races are always a lot more fun.
Awesome. And then last one pull up for now. I'll get to more, so keep them coming in. I'll keep pulling them up as we go. But Brian, struggling to get back into things. I feel that, but there's no better show to be tuning into to shake the rust off. We're talking about all the teams that you need to know. So shout out to Brian. I believe he may be seeing Phil out there in Vegas as well. Okay, so now it's time. Spire, first up. Awesome to have them on the board, and awesome for me to be able to pick first here, especially for our guy Iowa, because it's Carson Hocevar. Put him up on the board. Can't do any disrespect to our guests on the show here. I know this is your guy. The way I'm looking at it is they obviously have a lot more speed this year than they do last year, and even last year, Hocevar started 7th in that one and finished 8th. And that's sort of how we see it, right? Maybe a little bit hard to pass. Track position is key. And obviously, if you have a fast car, you can do a little bit more than some other drivers in the field. So I think Hocevar will do just that this weekend. Could be another strong top 10 run.
Beautiful. Yeah, I can't argue there. I'm Carson Hocevar all day. For me, like I took that 13 race sample I'm talking about. Well, first of all, let's talk about North Wilkesboro. We had that listed at the top of the track comparison list there. Spent almost 75% of his laps inside the top 10 in that race. Almost 50% of his laps were spent inside the top 5. And then you look at that 13 race sample and you just look at this team, this Spire team. He has the best finish of the entire team in that sample set, 2 of the top 3 and 4 of the top 10. So he's got the upside, as we know, but man, most recently, very fast at North Wilkesboro, going out late again in qualifying. I think Greg, and a couple others in Discord on him to win the poll at whatever number that was at. So yeah, and we talked about how good, you got to be qualify up front here. That's what we've seen 2 times in a row. Could happen again. Iowa, what you got?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big shocker here. We're going to go with Carson Hocevar here. Obviously, all the points you guys said. He's the best on the team. At everything across the boards: average start, average finish, average running position. He goes out, I believe, the last 6 in qualifying. I also did bet him to win the poll at 25-1. I don't know if that number's still out there. I think Greg got 22. Just shop around. I think that's a great bet. We know that these guys have qualifying speed. And I even like him for top Chevy. So, things up in the air with HMS, if he can qualify up front, fun stat of Iowa, back-to-back winners have started second. So, I mean, he could be that guy this week.
Awesome. Yeah, totally agree with everything there. So we love some Carson Hocevar. Let's head back to the randomizer. We'll take Spire out of there, and we're going to hit this bad boy again. All right, starting out hot today. All right, we're going with front row.
You got me. That was a good tease.
Yeah, thank you.
I was like HMS, JGR.
Iowa, it's your first time on the show, so I'm going to let you lead this great team off here and see what you got for front row motorsports.
Give me the top father here, because your vibes are high out of that camp. $1 million, right? If you look at his team, if you look at the front row team across the board as shorts, he's the only one that's even showed any life. He's finished. He finished 8th at North Wilkesboro, 12th at Phoenix. I don't think any of the other guys in that team are going to even touch that.
No, if you look, well, he's one of us. I tweeted Todd Milliland, and then he liked it. So I was like, all right, he sees it. He sees it. So I'm Todd all day. But if you look at the 13 race sample set that I'm looking at, and you just pit these guys against each other, where it has the head-to-head standings in enhanced loop data, Todd's got 6 wins, Zane 4, Gragson 3. So he's leading the way there. And then you just mentioned it. Most recently, the track that's on the top of the comparison tool, North Wilkesboro, 8th place finish there. And I know he's racing for $1 million, whatever, but man, this is the guy that I think like he's starting to catch some steam. I don't know if this like turns the season around or something. I don't know, but it feels like just momentum is a real thing, and we know it for other drivers. So can the momentum trickle all the way down to these teams that we've kind of made fun of all year? I don't know. But give me Todd Gilliland. Based on him versus teammates, it's got to be him right now. It was Zane for like the first half of the year, but it has flipped. So give me Todd Gilliland or Todd Milliland. Tino, what you got?
Well, I'll say this. So happy to see him win the $1 million. Obviously, it's very cool to see that for as crazy as the in-season challenge is, now back-to-back years of like a underdog and a favorite, and then coming down to the wire at the end with him and Blaney. Blaney obviously having issues, but Todd's still pulling it out. I agree with you guys. I'm going Todd Gilliland. The vibes way too high not to. I mean, he won $1 million. You got to hope they can buy something to put into his car for this weekend to help spruce it up just a little bit, to give him a little bit of speed. But even if they didn't, just like Robert said here, like Todd for a top 10 shot, me too. A, there's value. B, North Wilkesboro Speedway. He was up there. He was racing there on his own merit. People were getting lapped, and there's Todd Gilliland advancing to the next round based off of speed and just beating Chase Elliott that night a couple weeks ago. So I thought that was really cool. And like you said, Ryan, that's the track at the top of the comp tool. So might as well go Todd here for this one.
Yeah, and so recent, 3 weeks ago or whatever it was. So like this is the last time we've seen him on a track like this. I think it was Christian.
Gragson tire tested here, but I'm not sure that car's got 8 cylinders.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Who else tested you? Do you know who else?
Austin
Dillon, and Tyler Reddick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be a big one, Reddick. Okay, that's good to know.
Oh, let's see the gears turning. Did you see? I think it was Christian Eckes tweeted a picture out of Todd Gilliland, like looking at yachts or whatever, and he just wrote shopping. And then I was just like, yeah, he's gonna like. If this is the start, you only have to win like 200 more in-season tournaments, and then you can buy that yacht. All right, let's move it on. We got to take FRM out of here. Wow, we're just getting hit with the shit. All right, Trackhouse. Boom. I'll leave this one off. I think this one's pretty easy for me at least, but curious to see where you guys go or if you're going to take the chance to pivot here. But I'm SVG all day here. And in the sample set I'm looking at, it's only 4 races for SVG, not 13 like the rest in his current ride. But only Hamlin and Blaney have a better average finish in that time. So it's his 4 races from this year on those tracks. And you look at them like Phoenix, 11th, Martinsville, 11th, Nashville, 5th, North Wilkesboro, 5th. And that's the most recent we saw him. And at North Wilkesboro, and actually all these places, these aren't fluky runs. In that 4-race sample set, he is running top 10, I think over 60% of the time. So he's there. It's not just fluky, lucky finishes at the end of these races. SVG's brought it. So gets to go out pretty late in qualifying again this week. I think he can just kind of stick it there and we'll see what he has. But I can't pick his teammates when he's running so well at this track type right now. So give me SVG here. Tino, I'll kick it back to you.
Yeah, this was a tough one. I had a week off from any Ross Chastain-ness. So I was like, okay, maybe I can go back to him. Maybe because he hasn't ever made me feel good about picking him. He hasn't ever come through for me once this year, I should say. And I was leaning his direction until I checked all the comp tracks. Like you just said, Ryan, like it could be a Chastain week for reference, 2 11th place finishes at this track. So it's not like, he hasn't been good here. He's been a top 10 car, or at least finishing around there. But I just can't do it, because if I did do it, I would be pissed at myself when I see Chastain up against the wall in stage 2. So give me SVG, and it's really because of the track type. So I'm glad we got that tool going for us.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I looked at Chastain a little bit. Pulling double duty this weekend too. So he's running the O'Reilly race, which typically they send Ross to tracks, I think at least, where they think he'll do well or have a chance to win. So it's just something to note. Iowa, where are you at?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be a sweep for SVG. It doesn't even feel sneaky anymore. His average running position is almost 10 spots better than anybody else on the team. So,
yeah.
I went and looked. He's on the comps, not including Nashville. He's finished 11th, 11th, and 5th. So I went and looked, like, where has he qualified, considering where he's went out. And when he goes out 23rd in qualifying this week, he went out 30th at North Wilkesboro and qualified 8th. He also went out at 24th at Martinsville and qualified 5th. So he has the ability to qualify up front. I did take his top Chevy at 50-1. That price felt absurd for what he's shown. And I also like his top 10. I believe it was 6. I think you can still get 475 at DraftKings. I still think there's value in that top 10 number if you're into betting SVG this week.
Yeah, it was North Wilkesboro where he passed for the lead and then was like, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah.
Was that race? Yeah. So, I mean, just dude's awesome.
And recent,
And,
too.
and
like
if you look at the new Win the Race tool, right, at his quality passes per mile at Martinsville, he had a 0.21. Like he was passing people at Martinsville too. So I believe in the SVG hype this week.
Man, music to my ears, people using the new stats in enhanced loop data. That's beautiful.
I got a good quick question from Kyle before we move on to the next team. Iowa, I'll throw this one to you. Who is the 2028 Trackhouse driver lineup? First, I will preference. I personally believe Zilich will be going to the 48 in 2028. But what do you think?
I don't know. And Brian said we're getting some reverb on the audio. We tried to troubleshoot it backstage. I don't know what to tell you. But selfishly, I want to see Corey Day in the 48. Now, maybe Corey Day goes to Spire. I do think that HMS is pretty invested in him with Larson and Larson selling him to Gordon and Rick. So I think that ultimately he'll in there. But if you're going to take the opportunity to sign somebody like Zilich, I think he probably moves over. The only thing I would say is like Graxon had a great run in O'Reilly or Xfinity at the time, right? And he gets into the Cup Series and he has really not flashed at all. We see Connor Zilich struggling with the car. Like how transferable is that O'Reilly car to the Cup Series? And would it shock you if Connor Zilich continues to struggle even in really good equipment?
That's a good point.
So
I'd say it's not transferable
I'm excited for
at
Lane.
all. And I would say, yeah, Lane's a good one. But I would also say I think Zilich, at least in my opinion, is in like a Ty Gibbs type of scenario right now, to where you think he's got it, but he's got to grow up a little bit, got to get stronger. I mean, these cars are insane to drive, it seems like. And I feel like, yeah, I think give him a couple years, I think he'll be good. But then at the same time, you're giving him bad equipment in Trackhouse, which is why this conversation's even happening. You put him in HMS, I think he's a top 10 guy every week. But no way of knowing.
That's a good debate to have for a different show, I think. Because I don't like you put him in there now, like he's not going to do what Bowman does, but maybe people don't feel that way. I don't know. Yeah, truck is a better. So I'm looking forward to Lane. I think Lane will come up and have a pretty smooth transition. Then if they say these trucks are more like a Cup car.
Yeah, but we've seen it happen.
But if he goes to front row, is he auto dead?
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's tough.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up the randomizer again here. We're going to get rid of Trackhouse. See who we got next. All right, now we get into it. Hendrick Motorsports. Iowa, I'm going to let you lead this one off. Go ahead.
This one was such a toss-up for me because I could honestly see any 4 of these guys winning this. Bowman went back-to-back top 10s, 24 and 25. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's struggled this year. He's kind of picked it up a little bit recently. Byron and that crew just seem to be kind of in shambles, honestly. But we know what Will Byron is capable of doing here. I think ultimately what I kind of leaned back on was when I went back and watched the North Wilkesboro race, results are kind of skewed because of that caution with Bowman and Reddick kind of just putting half the field a lap down and nobody being able to recover. But I just remember Chase Elliott having really good speed. And, you look, he's got the best rated pit crew of that team. If he finds a way to make his way forward over the course of a race, not really great results at Iowa, but I think I'm going to be a little different than you guys here. I think I'm going to go with Chase Elliott.
Nice. I can never argue. He's a guy that I can never argue against because he can find finishes. And then, like, if we're talking short flats, just like, I know Martinsville is a little different beast, but, that's a guy we always talk about there. Tino, what do you got here for HMS?
Like that pick. Chase Elliott's consistent. But at this track, no one has been better than William Byron, I would say. He's got the best average finish, a 1.5 in just 2 races. Last year led 141 laps. The key thing that I want to note about this track, and I guess how it raced last year and how it was potentially difficult to pass, or at least how track position was key in the sense of once the drivers got there, they pulled away from everyone else. There was 6 leaders during the race last year at Iowa, but the 4 of them finished 1 through 4. William Byron, Briscoe, Brad, and Blaney. They all led laps, and they then, like I said, finished 1 through 4. Byron started on the front row, finished first. You, Ryan, mentioned how important that could be here as well. To me, I just feel like what I saw from them at Chicagoland, completely different track, but it was speed, and that's not something that we've seen out of the 24 all year. So that kind of piqued my interest with this group. Maybe they found something, maybe they just made improvements, maybe they got lucky that day. But to go back here after an off week, HMS, you got to imagine JGR, Spire probably took a week off, laid back, went to the beach. You have to imagine that those guys and workers in that shop grinded because this group, I'm pretty sure they're going on a streak of like not finishing inside the top 10 for the most races ever. So they got to figure it out. I'm hoping they did, and if they did, I think it's got to be William Byron, who's just been so good here recently.
Awesome. I had William Byron written down all day. Everything that you just said, but then I'll go one step further and just look at this track type this year, because a lot of people are, think like Byron's having a bad year, and it's not the year that we expected from Byron at all. But if you look at him amongst his teammates on this track type this year, 4-race sample that I'm looking at, he's best in average running position, and with that, he's ran them more laps than anyone inside the top 10. And he's the best at that quality passing per mile that we have in enhanced loop data right now. So if I'm looking for a guy to actually pass the guys running up front, Byron's been able to do it on this track type in 2026. And then just, everything you said, Tino, about coming here to this track, needing to qualify well. I already know he can set it up to qualify, up front. So, hopefully Byron can bounce back this weekend. Could be a lot of fun.
And it's perfect.
He does go out
qualifying too, because Robert.
Yeah, he does go out latest in qualifying of the team. The other thing I'll note is like last year, the last time he came down pit road was lap 204. That's how many cautions happened in stage 3 that allowed him to just stay out and run it. And every lap for the last 20 laps, Rudy Fugel was telling him, save more, save more. So like he kind of won a fuel race. I wouldn't say he had the best car, but again, they made it work.
Well, then he did, yeah, because you and I were talking about that. Like they said he was going to run out of fuel like 50 miles ago, and then he wins the race, and then he does a full-on burnout. Like there's enough gas in there for all that. So
he had the Logano tank that day.
Yeah. All right, pull up the randomizer here. Go back. We're taking HMS out now. Run it again. And now we get to Toyota Team 2311. I'll start out here because I think it gives you guys, we mentioned this a little bit. Reddick tested this tire here back in May, I think it was. But I've had this written down all day, and I'm not going to switch what I have, so I'll let you guys duke it out. Bubba Wallace is my pick here. I took all the tracks, that I mentioned in the 13 race sample, and I looked at Bubba versus Reddick head to head in those 13 races. Bubba won 7-6 in that head to head matchup. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But then I sorted by the finishes in that. Bubba has the 5 best finishes in that sample. So much more upside than Reddick here, I think, on this track type as well. And then you look at Iowa. Bubba's 2-0 against Reddick at Iowa. So that's where I'm going. Bubba Wallace had it written down all day for all those reasons. Curious to see where you guys go here, because I couldn't really argue a Reddick pick. Could argue a Herbst pick. Iowa, I'll kick it to you.
I really thought this is where I was going to be different, but literally to the exact points that you made, the head-to-heads and everything else, obviously a little bit of a nod to Reddick being a tire tester here, but, Bubba's crew actually has been better on the year than Tyler Reddick's. And, Bubba actually kind of, I feel like, gets underrated at short tracks. So I'm on the Bubba train here this week.
And you mentioned before the show my first beverage of the show was the old Diet
Oh,
Dr. Pepper. Is
that's a
that a
good one.
Bubba sign? I don't know. Tino, go ahead.
All right, well, Brian's got a good comment. Corey Hunt, whoops, I guess Bubba. That's funny. I'm not racing. I'm gonna be different. I'll go with Tyler Reddick in this one. Ryan and I have been the same thus far, right? Yep. So I do think this is a good opportunity for me to pivot. I would say, if I'm being honest, Bubba was sort of my play on paper until I found out about Reddick doing the tire test. That made me feel a little bit better about him. And it wasn't just that, it was more so they've been struggling, right? And you know he's the type of guy, and that's the type of team that if you give them an off week, they're going to work on it. They're going to try to get better. The only, I guess, drawbacks would be this is not his track type. This is Bubba's track type. This is where the differences between those two drivers are. Except we've been at places this year. Bristol, for example. I also think back to New Hampshire last year, where Reddick was a lot better than he's used to be. So I feel like that is something going in my favor here with this Reddick play. Nigel also saying Bubba was flying last year. Pressure on Bubba, Robert saying as well, potentially. But either way, I think this is a good opportunity to see how 23XI as a whole comes back, right? You give them an off week. Did anyone work on their stuff? Did anyone try to do something different? I would assume most teams did, and they're a team that kind of needs it right now because, I mean, besides Corey Heim, it's been a little bit since they've had some real success that they opened the season with.
Yeah, I'll say too, about Reddick. One reason why I almost went with him. If you look at there's 4 tracks from 2026 that I'm looking at in this sample set, and I think Reddick is the second best qualifier in that group. So we talked about how important track position is here. Not only has he improved on this track type, he's improved qualifying. So, I'll be pretty nervous about this pick if Reddick goes out there and qualifies top 5 because it might be tough to pass here. So we'll see what happens. But all right, good. Glad we're split there. Now we're all officially different. I'll pull up the randomizer again. 23XI is gone. And here we go. JGR. Another Toyota team. So go
Ooh,
back
baby.
to back Toyota powerhouses here. Tino, I'll let you lead this one off.
Okay, so this is an interesting. I think this is a little more interesting than people may think. First off, I'll get this one out of the way. Not picking Ty Gibbs, but I want to give him a shout out. I think he's still a solid top 10, top 5 play. Just because I'm not picking on him doesn't mean I don't think he's going to go out and have a
Yeah,
strong
one
run.
thing I talked about him with E-Step earlier today. He's got a fifth at Martinsville, fifth at Phoenix, fifth at North
Mm-hmm.
Wilkesboro, or fourth. I mean, fourth place finishes in all those, top 5 finishes in all those, finishing fourth. But yeah, top 5 machine on this track type this year. Go ahead, Tino.
Exactly. No, that's a great point. And it's like, and it seems like every time I don't pick him, he goes out and runs well. So I'll keep it that way for Team 54. I'll definitely look at some betting options, like you said, top 5, top 10 for Ty Gibbs. But there's a driver I've been picking a lot recently. Picked him in the bonus a few times. He has the most second place finishes this year. That's Christopher Bell. I think Bell, this could be like, I do not want to be in a situation on this show. Every week I'm trying to get a nice clip going and call my shot. And for weeks and weeks, I've been saying Bell. Am I going to come back from break and not pick him and then he goes out and wins? I cannot have that happening. Now, last year at Iowa did not have a good run. Ultimately started 17th, finished there. So that's not typical from Christopher Bell. But when you look at the comp tracks, I mean, North Wilkesboro Speedway, it looked like to me, besides Denny, he could have had a shot to challenge Logano. We never got to see it because he had adjustments being made, slow pit stop, then a tire problem, or just an issue that caused him to go towards the back there. But he's strong at Wilkesboro, obviously. WWT's been okay. It's top 5, top 10 car. But then New Hampshire, that's his track. So it's like when I'm looking at those comp tracks, Bell to me should have a good run. And I think it's funny because Big Ross saying Howley let us down. Robert as well. He's going to bankrupt. Hey, let's ride together because I feel like it's going to have to pay off at some point. The most second place finishes, like I said, this could be his moment to get a win.
Yeah, I that's my pick to win this week, but I'm picking him here. So Christopher Bell for me all day. I don't think he's gotten a real fair shake here at Iowa. I mean, this is a guy where you look back in the Xfinity series, nobody dominated this place like he did. And that's because of everything you said. Like, this is his track type. Like, he fits this track type. But you look like, what was it? So 2 years ago, uh, blows a tire, so he has to start in the rear. He ended up qualifying 10th in the back, whatever, but he has to start in the rear for the equipment change, still finishes top 5. Then last year, fastest lap in practice, but for some reason just couldn't qualify. I didn't watch qualifying back. I don't know if he slipped up. I don't know what happened. Qualified 17th. The other guys who were top, I think 3rd and 4th in practice, Byron and Briscoe, both qualified 1st and 2nd, and we saw what they did. They led the most laps in the race, and one of them won. So I don't know. Like, he obviously can bring a fast car here. And then even last year, he was up in the top 10 at the end of the race before he was involved in a wreck. So Bell can do it. It's just those little weird things happen to him. But I just got that feeling that he's going to snap it this week. And, 6 second place finishes this year. I don't think it happens anymore. I think he's going to win this race. So give me Christopher Bell here. I know that's not a hot take because this is his track type, but when you look at, some other guys here, maybe, there's a couple other favorites that we'll talk about. But Iowa, who do you got here?
Well, to Team 54, Zach's appeal, I would usually take this opportunity to shit on Ty Gibbs, but I honestly almost picked him for this. Like, when you look at the elite guys on the comps this year, like, he is hold on, I got to pull this up. He has the 3rd most laps inside the top 5. He's the 4th best speed ranking, 4th best in true performance, and the 3rd best average running position. Like, he's going to be right there. He's going to go out late in qualifying, got a great pit crew. He's going to be up there. But I'm not picking it. There was one guy I insta-bet when it opened, Chase Briscoe. Give me the 19 team. That team's coming in hot. If you take out Atlanta, in their last 4 races, he's finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And didn't he get a win in there too? I think he had a 5th or a 1st. Or maybe it was a 5th. Anyways, that team's coming in with a ton of momentum. He has qualified great at Iowa. I think he's got an average starting position of 3.5. That was even back in the Stuart Haas car. I think that he carried a ton of speed at North Wilkesboro as well. I'm all in on Chase Briscoe this week.
I love it. I'm torn. There were 2 ways. What'd you say? Sorry.
No, I'm saying I was right. He got all those good finishes and the win at Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicagoland.
I freaking there's only 2 ways I was going to go this week. And I'm trying not to pivot. I'm trying to stick to my guns here and stick to what I have written down. But man, it's going to be tough. All right, let's pull JGR out of here. We got 2 teams left. Who's it going to be? Going to be Team Penske. All right, so who wants to lead this one off? I don't know if McBride's listening. I can lead it off. I don't care. I'm not going to switch. I'm going to go with what I had written down all day. So I'll let you guys, have the chance to pivot. I'm Joey Logano here. It goes with everything that we've said, so far. If in the track comparison chart, it has North Wilkesboro at the top, and that's the most recent one that we saw, and he went out there and just beat the shit out of everybody. And even like Denny saying, like, man, I've got nothing for this guy. Like, I just got nothing for him at all. I don't know. But look beyond that, though. Let's just like widen the scope, go 2025, 2026, the 13 race sample set that I'm looking at. Only Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney have more top 5s than Logano's 7 in those 13 races. So, I mean, it's not just North Wilkesboro, but that really kind of puts the icing on top, or the cherry on top, whatever the saying is. So give me Joey Logano here. Both? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Icing on the cake, cherry on top. I think those are 2 separate ones. All right. Iowa, I'll kick it to you. What do you got?
Give me Ryan Blaney here. I would like to say all these fantastic things about Ryan Blaney. He's going to have 80 friends and family in the stands. I think where my buddies camp, they all stay right next to him. So, I might brush shoulders with those guys. But I think you put it best today on E-Step's program. So I don't want to rehash all that. But it's Ryan Blaney's a pick here.
I love him this week. I mean, you just look at win the race and look at the simulation results and bam. And I mean, that's Greg and I trying our absolute hardest. We don't like fudge the numbers, but like we don't necessarily like when someone's a favorite like that, but it is what it is. We're not going to fudge the numbers to change it. And he just came out like that. I mean, he's a heavy favorite. So
he potentially could have won last year too. He was in the best situation in terms of equipment to end that race. He was cutting 0.6 a lap there towards the end, and then he kind of got up to Briscoe and Kez, and he just kind of flamed out at the end, and no one was going to catch Byron at the end. But we know how good he's going to be.
Yeah. Tino, is McBride on here? I see some wheels turning.
Wheels are turning. McBride was on here. Don't see him in the chat anymore. But if you're here, buddy, let us know. Celebrate a Logs pick for Ryan. For me, I am going to change my mind live. It was Logs for me because of how strong he was at North Wilkesboro. But then I think back and say, yes, that was true. But Ryan Blaney could have been up there as well. Give me Ryan Blaney. When we look at the comp tracks, the first one's Wilkesboro. And Joey Logano, I just said it. He led all the laps. He's up there. So, that was my thought process going into this. But then when I look at Gateway, Blaney, Nashville, okay, maybe no one really, but New Hampshire, Blaney, Martinsville, Blaney, Phoenix, Blaney, I feel like that just can't be ignored. Yes, Logano was also strong at all of those places as Penske was as a unit, as a team. But if it comes down to passing drivers and then the home field, like you said, to Iowa, that was another thing that got me thinking even more than I already was between these two guys all day. I just feel like something's going to come down to it at the end. And I just feel like Logano, he's got a lot. Like, we look at the momentum, he's there. He's got the finishes, climbing up the chase leaderboard, strong at Indy. But I think Blaney not only is still searching for revenge after losing out on a millie, but he comes here, can pass better than everyone else. And that's why I'm going with Ryan Blaney here. Brian saying Blaney is a relatively early qualifier this week. That's good to know. 18th could start further back than expected. Think we get a similar number on the 12 post-qualifying. I think that's another big thing that I wouldn't be worried about. See, that's the difference between these two guys this weekend. Logano can get you more points if he's starting up front. Blaney, ultimately, you got to worry about his crew, number one, number two qualifying position, but I'm not worried about him passing cars to get back up to the front.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I took, everything we said about Blaney and Nagano. But I took Penske 3-1 because if Logano pulls it, that number's not getting any better ever. They would both have to pretty much tank qualifying to have a better number on Penske at 3-1 here. If they both qualified 20th, maybe that gets to 5-1 or something like that. But I took 3-1. I took Christopher Bell 9-1. Forgot to mention that when we got there. And then I have one other bet that I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute here. So, all right, the last team, we're sticking with Ford, RFK Racing, and I'm gonna have Tino. You lead this one off here for RFK.
Awesome. So this is saying everything to pick Brad Keselowski, and that's why I'm not doing it, because every time I thought about doing so this year, he hasn't come through. He's in the same. You want to put a little box. It's Ross Chastain, Brad Keselowski for me. Maybe Brad's been getting a little bit better, has a good momentum as of late in terms of some finishes, but to me, and hey, last year started 5th, finished 3rd, led 68 laps at this track, has the experience here, 3rd in terms of average finish with a 6.5 here overall. That's why I'm saying Brad could be the play, but I just don't trust him, because when I looked at Texas earlier this year, and like I said, completely different track, but that makes me so frustrated, because I looked at Texas and I saw, even from in the 6 car, in the 2 car, Brad had 8 straight top 10s. But it wasn't like he was due for a bad finish. It was okay, keep the momentum going. And he wasn't even close. He didn't even unload with any speed similar to that. The best 2 RFK guys have been Priest and Buescher. Obviously, Priest to me is going to be the play. And Iowa with a great point with last race in terms of Indy, they just gave that one away. I mean, if not for the win, top 5, top 10 finish, Priest having I don't know what they were thinking on pit road. Hopefully, Skull saying it too, 66-1 for Priest. This could be a good opportunity for him to maybe play some strategy, get a win. But even if not, finish 5th here last year after starting 33rd. This is his type of racetrack.
Yes, sir, it is. And, I'll pull it out.
Hey.
It's the Ryan Hat weekend. So that's 66. I actually got Priest at 80, and so I took that. That's my third bet. So I have Penske at 3, Bell at 9, Priest at 80. So that's where I'm sitting heading into the weekend here. I'll write him in here. Ryan Priest, always target him on this track type, kind of like what we were talking about with Christopher Bell or people like that. Like this is where we like to see them. Um, if you look so head to head in the sample set I'm looking at, uh, 13 races. Busher and Brad 4 wins, Priest 5 wins. So beating him there. The top 10 at North Wilkesboro, like you just mentioned. Top 5 last year that you just mentioned. And then, just like I said with Bell, these guys just kind of know this track type. So the last time Ryan Priest ran an Xfinity car, O'Reilly car, whatever you want to call it here back in the day, absolutely beat the shit out of everybody. Led a million laps, won the race, totally dominated. So these guys like this can get around this track type. I really hope that we see some tire wear because he's a dude. Same with Bell. When I love and Blaney, when I love tire wear, when like you get to these late in these runs and people start getting a lot slower and they start catching you and passing you, that's when I like to see Priest. I know that the clash is what it is, and it was like crazy weather, whatever. But like you got late in those runs, you started seeing Priest passing people. So those are the races I really enjoy. I think it's cool to see the strategy of trying to take care of your stuff and then being smart and being fast late in runs. Let's hope for it. Iowa, what do you have here?
Well, I feel like the gamesmanship for the draft and for Phil, I should take Kez and not follow suit here. But when you look at Kez on the comps and qualifying this year, he has been abysmal. His average start is 27th. And they go out, all RFK cars in a row, 27, 28, 29.
Yeah, all in the bottom, all in the last 10.
Right. And if you're going to put Priest up there, I think he finished one spot behind Kez last year, 5th or 6th at Iowa. If you're going to put Priest up there, I feel like he's just going to hold track position. And like you said, this track type really fits him well. I'm just going to follow suit here and not get too different.
Tino, you had mentioned like the guys that are dead to you, like Brad, Chastain. You know who's entered that for me over the last like 2 months? Chris Buescher. Buescher's pretty dead to me right now. Pretty fucking dead to me right now. So I don't know. I mean, he won us a lot of money over the last like 2.5 years. But right now, wow, I can't do it. So Ryan Priest was easy for me here. All right. If we look at, let's see, the old leaderboard here, I think I came in. No, Phil came in last. Okay. All right. So Iowa, you're going to get the extreme leverage here. Tino's going to go with his bonus pick first. I'm going to go with mine second. And then you have all the leverage for our man Phil here and yourself to win this draft. Tino, what do you have for your bonus pick for Iowa?
Okay, well, I saw a comment in the chat earlier. I'm going to pull it up because it is a good time to go back to it. See, TK here saying rare, no Denny Hamlin pick. And now that we've reached the bonus, talking about some of the best, you're still not going to see it because this is a track where Denny Hamlin, he does not have that experience. It doesn't have the edge that I feel like gives him the advantage where we see at other tracks all on the schedule, all throughout his entire career, that he's ran more races than everyone else. But one driver that has been consistently fast, not only recently this season, I'd say he's got the most momentum. I'd say he's got the best track comparisons. It's Chase Briscoe. Give me him in the bonus. I had him in my bonus last week as well for Indy, I believe, and it paid off well, right? Can we double check that? Was Briscoe bonus Indy? Let's see. Yep. Cha-ching! Back-to-back Briscoe bonus. Let's do it. I think he gets the win, if not Bell. And I'm feeling pretty good because Denny normally worries me for good reason. I don't think I need to feel that same sort of pressure this weekend at Iowa.
We need like sound buttons on here. So like you could have hit the cha-ching there and it would have done like the cash register instead of you doing it. I liked you doing it, not saying that, but I'm just saying, we got to get some buttons in here. All right, so I'll go here. The only 2 ways I was going to go was going to be Briscoe for JGR and Bell in the bonus, or the way that I went here pick Bell no matter what. Logano for Penske, and it's Ryan Blaney in the bonus here. And like I always said, I mentioned it earlier on the E-Step show. For those who haven't listened to that, I'll go into it here. Start with Iowa, the basics. 2 races here. He hasn't finished a single stage outside of 4th in the 2 races here. Absolute dominance in 2024. Led a billion laps. And then in my 13 race sample, he leads in average finish, leads in wins with 4. He's won top forward in 8 of the 13 races. And then when we simulate this race out, Greg and I put all this information in there, trying to make it as accurate as possible. It's worked out for us. He's winning over a 5th of the time in the simulations. So, like, what the hell? So I don't know, man. I can't ignore that. Had to go Ryan Blaney here. That was ultimately the simulations were my deciding point to go Logano, then Blaney, as opposed to Briscoe, then Bell. Briscoe, then Bell. So that's where I went. Iowa, you have all the leverage in the world here. A couple different ways you can go. Denny, like someone had mentioned in the chat there, and Ryan does pick all the Ryans. This is true. I love
That's
that.
sick. That's pretty cool. It's a name. It's a name game. We got Iowa, Ryan,
like,
Ryan.
When he got me this hat, like, it is perfect. All right. Iowa, where are you going to go here?
Well, as much as this really pains my heart, and people in the Keg and Code Discord, and anybody who's ever watched the live shows will know, get my man Sean McBride back out here because we're going with the 22. Now, if you look at Logano, he's had an average running position of, I think he's the second best on the 3 comps, not including Nashville, this year. It's a 3.4. He's only behind Denny. He's got a 3.46 and Denny's got a 3.4. He's first in speed rating. Now, that might be a little bit skewed because of his performance in North Wilkesboro, but he was mega fast at Phoenix, too. His average running position there was like 2 point something, and he got wrecked, or something happened to him. He finished 31st. But he's going to go out late in qualifying. I actually bet him to win the pole at 8-1. If Joey Logano qualifies up there, and with that pit crew and Paul Wolf, he's going to be a motherfucker to pass. So as much as it hurts my heart, Joey Logano.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's why I bet Team Penske. I couldn't just, if Logano was longer, like he was, like people got him at North Wilkesboro, would have thought about that. But, when he's 7-1 or 8-1 or whatever he is right now, I just can't do it. So 3-1, I thought getting him and Blaney was good. I did notice Greg betting Cindric to win the pole. I thought that was interesting too for someone who has a Penske bet out there. So do something to nibble on there. I think he's qualified like top 6 in all the comps or something like that, Greg said. So we'll see. I told him I thought it was freaking crazy. I don't think Cindric's going to win the pole. But if at the number he got it at, who cares? You just take a little nibble. All right. We got any more comments in here? Questions? Anyone want to ask anything? Pretty pumped for this weekend. I think the race is going to be fun.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to be back. Comments, keep them coming in. I had a great show in terms of the engagement as normal, but especially for being back for the first week in a while. It's good to see everyone again. Appreciate this one here. Non-wing racer. Never miss your guys' draft. Loaded with great stats. Keep up the good work. Well, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, we all do. Courtesy win the race. Courtesy of Iowa, bringing in some fresh flavor and, of course, some corn. Miami Mike saying he loves corn, which is good.
Me too. I ate corn tonight.
Oh, there you go. All right.
We're having a little corn off with Cody. He says Nebraska corn's better. So I think I'll run into him. He's going to be at the race too.
Oh shit!
That's good to know.
Is he bringing his corn? You guys gonna trade husks?
I don't know if he's throwing some in the backpack or what. I think he's going to Knoxville too, so I might run into him twice. We'll see.
You guys just like see each other and like fight like their swords? Like you just?
Oh yeah, he knows it's on. The minute he sees me, it's on.
Nice. Yeah, cool.
That's awesome.
All right, good.
Yeah, shout out Nigel will be there, as I mentioned as well. He's hoping to see Bell win in person.
You're damn right.
Incredible. I'm with that. Right. I think everyone can get behind. I know Marcus, who was in the chat first, said he thinks Bell as well, so that'd be cool. Oh, here he is. There we go. Our guy, Sean McBride. There he is.
Let's go.
Wasn't live for the Logano bonus, but he's here now.
Pretty funny. It's pretty funny, Tino. You're the only one who didn't pick Logano.
Oh, don't tell him that. I don't think he noticed yet. I'm just kidding. But Zach, hope you have a good race weekend with the 54. Um, Going to hold Iowa in my heart for reluctantly giving Ty a slate glaze. That's see that.
Hey,
This is what we
I
do.
did bet Ty Gibbs top 5 and top 10, Zach.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm
As
in.
well-
I'm
Yeah.
invested.
As you should be. He's been doing it. Feels like every week recently. So I'm glad this is what we do. The draft brings people together, goes from the comment section to the live screen. We're singing Kumbaya. Keith in the chat saying good show. Appreciate ya. Nigel has a take on Nebraska corn, or maybe just
Yes.
Nebraska in general. Says it's ass. All right. It's good to know. And yes, Sean,
Facts.
logs will be a factor this weekend. But hopefully not more than Chase Briscoe. But we'll see.
Awesome.
Love
Thank
the
you
Briscoe.
guys so much. Yeah, for tuning in Iowa. Thank you for filling in, man. When are you guys going to be live this weekend? Let everyone know where they can find all the live shows.
Well, every weekend, especially with football coming up, we are live. Usually, if there's any race, so truck race, a rally race, cup race, we will be live for. Unfortunately, I think Keg's daughter is going off to college this weekend, so I don't believe there's going to be a Saturday show. And I will, since I'm at the race on Sunday, I will not be there. But if anybody likes to watch the race live and bet live, throw around a couple units here and there between friends, come sweat the race with us over at Keg and Co. Usually a fun time. We'll be yelling at Chris and out drivers from green flag to checker flag.
Yep. And winning money, which is always fun. I think there's a good streak. So my family, I believe, is gone Richmond weekend. So you're gone to the race Iowa. Then we head right into Richmond. So I'm hoping to come on some live shows with you guys Richmond weekend, which I believe is a Saturday night race. So that should be a lot of fun. Probably sweat
You
some
stood us up
UFC and
twice,
some.
Brian.
Huh?
You stood us up twice now.
Oh.
I don't stand people up. I just don't show up. That's not standing. I don't. I say, hey, just send me an invite just in case I can come on. Not like, hey, I'll be there.
We'll pull
and
the
then I
receipts
don't
later.
show up.
We'll pull the receipts later.
Oh God. All right. Well, anyways, maybe I'll show up. Maybe I won't for Richmond. That'd be fun.
There you go.
I do think we're on like a 3-race streak on there though. Like the last 3, I think we've hit winners all 3 times, if I remember correctly. Good ones too. And that one stage bet we won with Blaney was wicked fun to sweat out at the end.
Mhm.
All right. Awesome. Tino, where can everyone hear your good content this weekend?
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate everyone in the chat. Kept it live, kept it all going awesome all night. Great questions, great comments, funny stuff, everything in between. Glad we were able to provide a good show for you guys. You can follow me at Tino, Pattigno. All across social media, I will be on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, Tubi TV, the NASCAR app on Friday morning, giving my best bets. Pretty much everything we talked about tonight, but how the lines have changed, who I'm really thinking about for some certain prop plays and whatnot. So tune in there. And then I also wanted to answer this quick question for the Kyle Larson car fan in the chat here. When will Kyle Larson break the winless streak, do we think? And honestly, I just checked the schedule after you asked that. It might be October. It might be October. With how they're running right now and with how he's been capable of having the speed to win and doing whatever it takes not to, it seems like Chicagoland, Indy. I don't know. So that would be my guess. It would be
September would be maybe Darlington or Bristol.
Arlington, right.
Well, or Kansas, but I mean that's like what we used to say. Like even when
Yeah.
he leads laps at these places now, he just gets ran down.
And I was going
Do you think they're
Vegas. That was my thing. I thought.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're closing the gap to Toyota at all on intermediates?
I don't know, because they get out. Even when they get out front, they just get ran down again.
Or Larson just spins out from the lead? I think he's done that twice in the last 4 weeks.
Exactly. So
You
that's
get
why
a
it's
run
so
here,
hard.
just like we have a 3-race run here at Shorts. When you get into the chase and you get to late September, early October, you go Kansas, Vegas, Charlotte, because now we got the oval back. So you got 3 straight 1.5s. That's kind of cool. But that could definitely be where they catch their stride.
Right. If I think this, so obviously we're at a couple short tracks to close out the year, right? We go Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, 3 short tracks. Oh, that's the end of the season, and then Daytona, obviously. But my point is I'm very interested to see if they've made gains. Like I think this off week is huge for HMS specifically, like probably bigger than everyone else because if there is any speed that they could have found, it would have had to have been over this break because that's when you're going to go to work. That's when you're going to see any adjustments that could be made. And then did they work? That's the question. It's like we won't know until we get to, I mean, the playoffs or the chase rather. Darlington, Gateway, Bristol. But even then,
Yeah,
that's
I
still
think the chase is where they're going to have to make their.
Since we're talking about it, I would say I don't think HMS like even they're just so far behind. Like it's just so not them. I think even if they did make gains, it's not anything that's going to be capable of beating the Toyotas outright because they've been so fast. And I think if anyone's going to beat the 11, 2019, 54 at a championship, 45 as well, it would be the 12 or the 22 at this point.
I think you're seeing the frustration come out too. Like, when's the last time you ever heard Byron on his radio like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I've never heard him like go crazy cursing like that, like how he did. Crazy. And he's coming off what 6? Did he have 6 wins last year, or was that the year before? I don't know. Either like multi-win, back-to-back multi-win seasons for Byron, looking like a championship contender, and now it's like not even close. And everyone out of that camp, it's Larson, it's Elliott, like they're all on this streak of, longest without finishing inside the top 10.
And if they find it in the chase and things narrow up, it'll be very interesting. Because like Larson could be very good at Darlington and Bristol, and all 3 of those 1.5s right in a row. And then you get to the end of the year, Martinsville he's been strong at, like he's a top 5 machine there, and then you end with Homestead. So like,
right.
It could, if they start tightening it up. I mean, it tightens up once you hit the chase, anyways. And then if they just kind of hang around there, I mean, it could get very interesting if they find something.
I'll add this too. He's lucky to be 8th in points right now. Larson is. So it's like with 4 races to go, if he can just hold on to that 8th, to your point, Ryan, he's got an actual shot like of competing for the championship. I'd say that top 8 is probably where you, unless someone goes on a crazy win streak, I would say that's those drivers capable points wise. But yeah,
they just don't have the consistency that Toyota does.
Exactly. Every week.
I mean, like you look who's ahead of them. Like, I mean, Hocevar's been good, but Hocevar's been known to go on some runs where he gets some bad finishes in a row. Probably not passing Briscoe the way he's running now.
Mm-hmm.
Buescher though has not been great lately. Suarez could easily drop down a little bit. I mean, they could all find themselves like within the top 8 heading into the chase, and then you have all those.
Can Hocevar keep the DNF streak alive, or the non-DNF? Like
right,
he's ran pretty well.
He's due for some Christopher Bell type luck or something. So like,
right. Nigel asked, who do you guys think wins Xfinity? I have 2 bets on that, and I grabbed some long numbers on Ross and Quapple. That was it. I think I'm just going to go into that race with those guys.
Yeah, Ross is one who really stood out to me. So I really like Ross for the O'Reilly race, but I don't like the number that he's at right now. I like the
Caesar's
number that
opened
you
him
got.
at 8.
Yeah, I liked that, but I'm not where you can get him now.
Not to be boring, but I gotta mention it. I mean, the guy with the corn on his car. I just feel like it's kind of fate for all guy, right? I mean, he's got the corn car, and it's going to corn. It's a corn.
Has he had it there each year? I don't know.
And to be honest, maybe he doesn't have the corn car. Let me find a paint scheme preview here, but
I think he did prior to them coming back to Iowa. I don't think he's had it in 24, 25.
Have Sam Mayers won both these races? I didn't even realize that until right now.
But look how many laps he's led.
Yeah,
Ross Chastain had the best car last year.
Yeah.
Corn confirmed. So
and what, Chandler Smith the year before? Yeah, Chandler Smith won both stages and led 131 laps the year before.
It's a big corn too. Sometimes it's a small corn. This is a big corn.
That's a big corn.
Big corn for Lil Gator. Corn confirmed. This is like the
That's
draft.
just
overtime
O'Reilly,
mode.
man. O'Reilly's getting it just gets funky.
All right, guys.
All
Well, I
right.
appreciate you guys having me on. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Thanks for coming. Sorry we ran late here, but good talking to everybody. Appreciate it. Iowa, I'm glad that I can't stand you up this weekend, but I hope you have fun at the race. Tino, thank you, man. Appreciate it. I miss you. This was awesome. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Missed all you guys. Appreciate all the comments. Wintherace.info. Go check out all the new stuff. Everybody, enjoy Iowa this weekend. Good luck on all your bets, your DFS, or if you're just watching the race for fun, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.